It's finally time for another nail video. I am so sorry it's been forever. I was busy during the fair and then I had a bunch of like glittery polishes to go through, and I don't want to show you guys the exact same thing all the time. So I'm sorry. It's been so long. But for today's video, I'm going to be using these paper flowers, or I think they're real pressed flowers. I'm pretty sure they're real flowers, just like, you know, pressed by a book or whatever. So I'm going to be using these. So I wanted like a simple, plain color. So I got Lillian. I'll show you the name later, I guess. Lillian, which is Alabaster Pink Cream. So I hope this goes good together, and then that will also make the flowers like the star of the show instead of having like a bright background or base. And because they are not going to be reusable, I am going to be using a regular base coat so that they last more than a day. Hopefully I can get like 3 to 5 days out of this, because whatever I'm going to use is going to be wasted. I'm not going to be able to reuse it again like I do with like my rhinestones and all of that. So let's go ahead and get started. This is the first time I'm using these. I do have tweezers to just help place them, but we'll see how it goes. See if I run into any problems. So like I said, I'm going in with a regular base coat. This is my Revlon Color Stay base coat. And just base coat. So as I said before, this is Julep Lillian, and it is defined as Alabaster Pink Cream or creme. So it should be just like a nice subtle base for all of these colorful little flowers. So we shall get started. And I do not have the clear, so I'm just going to be applying the flowers to the wet polish once I figure out how many coats I need. Sometimes with light colors like this, they're very see-through, and because the whites of my nails is pretty dark, I have to use a few different coats of these little light colors. Alright, here we go. Not too bad. I think I'm only going to be needing 2 coats, so I will be applying the flowers on the next coat. Alright, so I'm probably going to just mix up the random colors. That's why I got just a subtle base color, so that I can do any of these and it won't look too bad. So I probably just start and go around the wheel. I have no actual idea what I'm planning or any particular preference. So I'm just going to just start and see what happens. Because my pinky is so little though, I am going to try and do one of these like little side or broken pieces, because a whole one is not going to fit on me. These suckers are going to be tricky to pick up with the tweezers. I found that out already. Alright, so here goes. Like I said, I'm going to put it just on top of the wet polish, and 1 coat was fairly decent, so I'm going to make 2 coats the finale. So let's see if I can get this done. Hold on, I'm having issues with the angles here. This finger is just like, I always miss the side because I can't turn it. Okay, here we go again. Alright, so does that look like the flower is like here and just a couple petals? Or should I have spaced it out? I don't know. well, I don't know. But that's what I did. That's what I got so far. And hopefully they're not going to bleed with the top coat. That might be interesting if they do. Be a weird look. So now I'm just going to go ahead and turn the wheel. See if I can pick out maybe a similar kind of one that's like halfway apart. And of course, they're all whole. So I'm going to be using this one on the ring finger. See how this goes. So the little like middle part is definitely hanging up. So I'm not quite sure how I like the full flower as just like in the middle. I do wish that I could do something more like this on the other one so that it kind of just looks like it's off to the side. I might have to look into that, but overall, I mean, it's still pretty cute. I was able to get all of the petals at least down. This one was curled at the beginning, but I was at least able to get them all flat, but I do still have the middle part sticking up. So this is going to be a trial and error. Like I said, we're gonna see how well it also does with the top coat, because it seems like they might bleed, which is not gonna be the point. I mean, I'm hoping they're not going to, but you never know. So honestly, I think I'm just gonna go around the wheel. I don't know how many wheels there are. There's 12 different colors, but they're not all, like, you can see where the yellows have fallen into this like blue flower, and these orange ones have gone into this blue. So I'm just going to have to like mix it up and figure all of that out. But I am just going to keep turning the wheel and doing some different colors. So if there's 12 different colors and I only have 10 fingers, then I don't think I'm going to be using them all. So just gonna see what happens, and I will be fast forwarding through the rest. If I talk the whole time, it's gonna be way too long. So here we go. Alright, so I'm in the process in the middle. I'm not happy with this one, how it's just two little things on the end. And I just got two little orange ones and a yellow one. So I'm just going to add a couple of those, because this one is much better what I had in mind of this one looking like, and I don't think they even are close, and it's not focusing. And I just messed it up. Anyways, they are not similar. It's not what I was wanting. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the a couple little extra pieces on this finger. That's a little bit better, not still exactly what I was envisioning, which is this one is what I was hoping it would somewhat look like, but it doesn't. Okay, on with the fast forwarding. Okay, so it looks like I used only 9. How did that happen? Oh, I used the first one? No? Oh, I used the yellow one twice. Okay, so anyways, stay in your little hole. So dumb. Now that I have them all put together, I'm going to let them dry, and I'm hoping that they're not going to smear. Now I will I actually want to ask you guys a question. This is Essie. That's all I know. It's just Essie. There's nothing on it. I got this as a freebie from Licia. I actually went back and watched the video where I unboxed it to see what it was. And they had just put a little tag on it that said it was a freebie base and top coat. And she had freebie highlighted, top coat highlighted, and then she wrote better and put a like an arrow towards top. So I put it in my top coat pile, but there's no name, and it's just a plain clear bottle with a white lid. Do you guys know what it is? It does actually seem to be working, personally for me, better than the Sally Hansen Diamond Flash. I'm not sure if it's a quick dry top coat, but it definitely lasts longer than the Sally Hansen one did. So if you guys know what this is, if it's, I don't know, good to go, no chips ahead, I don't know what it is. If you guys know, let me know. It's just completely clear bottle. And I looked on Essie's website, and all that I saw was like no chips ahead had a blue little circle on it. I didn't see good to go. So I don't know what it is, guys. Let me know if you know what it is, but I will say I do like it better than the Sally Hansen Diamond Flash top coat. So like I said, I'm just going to dry a minute, and then I'm going to try and put the top coat on and hope that it stays. Although I kind of am liking that the flowers are matte. So I might just try my pinky and see what happens, because it's probably going to make them glossy. Although it is not as glossy as the Sally Hansen Diamond Flash. So those are the differences. I don't know if it's necessarily quick dry. It's not as glossy as Sally Hansen Diamond Flash, but it lasts longer, which is a bonus for me. I don't care about the glossy part. I like that it lasts longer and I don't have to change it in a few hours. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but still. Okay, I will be back shortly. Alright, they're basically pretty dry. It's only been a minute, but they're basically already dry. Like I said, I'm going to try the pinky, see if they bleed, and then decide what to do with the rest. I'm hoping that it's going to work with the top coat to seal them in, because I mean I could just see them disintegrating as soon as I get in the shower, which would defeat the whole point of me using a regular base coat and trying to make them last as soon as I take a shower. So here goes nothing. See how it's gonna be. Okay, it did not bleed. So I'm going to go ahead and continue until something bad happens. But with these, you're going to want to make sure that you put a big drop in the middle to get those little center pieces stuck down that were hanging up. I'm really loving this design. Alright, I am done. Again, my worst favorite finger, or least favorite, is this pinky. I wish I had found a half flower at the beginning when I started this adventure instead of the two little petals. I was able to fit two small flowers on this finger and one big and a half on this finger. And so I don't know if these halves go together or not. I don't think so, because this one, they both have a whole centerpiece. But either way, I am really liking it. It's almost like, you know, a white background makes the flowers pop, although it is a little pale pink. it's still pretty cute. These almost looks like sunflowers. Like I tried to draw some sunflowers, but mine would never look that good. But they almost look like it, and it's pretty cute. Sorry if you can hear Molly snoring. I know my camera always picks up like every single sound whenever I'm filming, and she is snoring in the background. But overall, I do like that they are all different colors as well, and I really am just loving it. I honestly thought that they were going to be, the flowers were going to be a little bit smaller and not take up a whole nail. But this is still a pretty cute design. Let's see how long they last. I hope that they are sealed in enough. Like I said, that top coat is lasting longer than the previous top coat that I was using, so I'm hoping that they are going to last, but you never know. Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to look before I start talking whenever I finish to see how long it took me, and I will see you guys next time, and leave me any requests for nail art that you would like to see. Bye!